notes will be on the Granite State Future website, the NHListens website, and that information will be emailed out to folks in a week or so. But let's go around and quickly have each group talk about 2, 3, 4 things that were your key items.
It's okay.
You don't need consensus, so it's okay to say you talk about things and not everyone agrees. So why don't we start with this group over here? I'm going to ask you all to just give us a few minutes to do that.
So we started out talking about the 5 focus areas and the issues and the things that kept circling were aging, transportation, economic development, housing, and childcare. And it's like as soon as we chase transportation, we'd start tracing the jobs, and then we'd start getting into childcare, and then into housing, and then into services. And so really, if we moved from this kind of place where we kept circling to say, it's a collaboration, it's not a competition. It isn't, we're going to work and be able to deal with an aging population versus, dealing with some of our early child care concerns. And then that really just kind of brought us back up to really what we kind of moved into, which is, we weren't going to come up with solutions today. We weren't going to say, these are the 3 things that you need to do. We weren't able to do that, but we felt like moving into a place where we're doing some systems thinking, that we take the comments from all of these sessions and start doing some system mapping, where you're looking at what's feeding what and those relationships, that would help give us a starting point of where we could start taking actions that would have the biggest tipping point or tumbling, or where you would start. If I worked on this, I would actually be feeding and working on these things. And so we felt like some tools like using these things to find system mapping would actually kind of take this group and kind of give us where that point where we could put some emphasis on. Is that well enough?
Thank you. So our group came up with 2 key issues that were themes throughout a lot of the topics. The first one was to preserve our natural assets, whether that means, I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty of it. So we all very much appreciate the beauty of our personal private land and the state's land as for multiple uses. We want to make sure that's preserved for many years to come. The other issue was internet access. We all very much agreed that wireless internet is going to be crucial to our economic stability and making sure that all businesses are supported throughout the state and educational purposes as well. So making sure that that's well distributed. Thank you. And Susan, you're the big one.
Well, I think like the 2 other groups, the first thing that became really obvious to us is in talking about 5 separate focuses that they were all interrelated. You couldn't, as soon as you started to tease one out, you realized it was definitely connected to the other. So in talking about where the state wanted to go and the whole idea of future for this state, it obviously has to have a strong and sustainable economy of some sort. And we were trying to think of ways of it becoming more locally based and developing things that could be either exported or maintain the state's economy here for the locals. And what feeds into that obviously is how you educate the next generation. And what is lacking in the ideals and actual practices in education today, and what could be improved in that to bring up the next generation to be problem solvers and the next generation of entrepreneurs, which then feed into the strong, sustainable economy that we want to build. And so all in that mix is bringing up better citizens and having them really connected to the sense of this state as a community and how we can live on into the future in the state that we want to have.
Thank you very much. In closing, I'll just say that some of our facilitators and Duncan and I have been at 2 other events, as I said, and some similar themes, some really different things. The reports from the previous sessions are on the NHListens and Granite State Future website if you want to see what other parts of the state are talking about. And I want to thank you very much. This is hard work, but we appreciate you coming out tonight. And with that, you're going to get the gold star for finishing a little before we planned, which is great. So thank you very much. Have a good night, everyone.
GrokTV.